All right, so imagine this. You're a filmmaker, and you have this vision for like a really dramatic scene, maybe a spaceship flying through a nebula or a character doing some crazy stunt. And instead of like weeks and weeks of storyboarding and building all this complex CGI, you just describe what you want, and the AI generates a rough cut.
It's a really interesting area of research.
It is.
Yeah, we're looking at a new AI system that's kind of trying to bridge this gap in video generation.
Okay.
So, you have these AI tools that can create videos from like text prompts,
Right.
but they often lack realism and they might struggle with things like lighting or physics or, making the character movement smooth. And it leads to that kind of uncanny valley effect
Yeah.
where it looks almost real, but also kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, we have like traditional CGI, which can look incredibly realistic,
Oh, yeah.
but it's so time consuming and expensive. It requires like specialized skills and powerful computers.
Yeah, so is this new system trying to find that sweet spot? I think
Exactly.
you're-
Offer that realism and accessibility.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So it's actually called Kubrick
Oh, interesting.
as a nod to the legendary filmmaker Stanley Kubrick,
Makes sense.
who was known for like his attention to detail and just cinematic vision.
So does Kubrick wear a beret and demand endless takes?
Well, not quite, but it does have that dedication to getting things right.
Okay.
It uses a three-agent system.
Okay.
The first is the LLM director.
LM director.
Yeah, so LLM stands for large language model. And it's a type of AI that's really good at understanding and generating text. So the LLM director acts like a human director would.
Okay.
It takes the user's text description, basically the script, and it breaks it down into like actionable filmmaking steps.
So it's not just taking it literally, it's understanding the
Yes.
intent
Yeah,
behind the words.
and it does this by focusing on 5 key aspects of filmmaking. So
Yeah.
you have scene composition, character design, motion lighting, and cinematography.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly, this is actually inspired by a real film theory concept called mise en scène.
Mise en scène. What is that?
So mise en scène basically means placing on stage, and it refers to everything that appears in front of the camera and how it's arranged.
Okay.
So it's like the visual language of the film.
Gotcha.
It includes everything from the set design and the lighting to the actors' positions and their costumes.
So the AI is drawing on actual filmmaking principles
Yeah.
to understand and break down the script. That's pretty cool.
It is, but of course a director needs a crew to bring that vision to life.
Right.
And that's where the second agent comes in the LLM programmer.
Okay, so what does the AI programmer do?
It's essentially the builder. So it takes those instructions from the director
Okay.
and translates them into actual code for Blender, which is a popular 3D animation software.
Wow.
So it's like the construction crew building the set, placing the actors, setting up the lighting, but in that virtual world.
So it's actually writing code to create the 3D models, set up cameras and everything.
Exactly. And it even has access to its own library of pre-written code modules,
Oh, cool.
like building blocks, which it can use and modify based on feedback.
So it's constantly improving.
Yeah, think of it like a programmer who's always learning and getting better.
So we have the director with the vision and the programmer building the scene.
Yeah.
What is the third agent's role?
Right. Well, even the best film crews need someone to provide like a critical eye,
Yeah.
to make sure everything aligns with that original vision and meets those quality standards.
Makes sense.
So that's where the VLM reviewer steps in.
VLM review. Okay. Another type of AI.
Yes, VLM stands for Visual Language Model. So it's a type of AI that can see and understand images and videos, kind of like a film critic.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, who can analyze the visual aspects.
So in Kubrick's system, it looks at what the programmer has created, compares it to the director's instructions, and then says how good it is.
Exactly like a director watching the dailies,
Yeah.
looking for things to improve.
Anything from mistakes. Yeah.
But it goes a step further than just like looking at still images. It actually analyzes the movement in the video, how smoothly characters are moving, whether the camera movements feel natural. And it does this by looking at coordinates and keyframes, the building blocks of animation.
So it's making sure everything looks and feels right?
Exactly. And importantly, all of that feedback is given back to the programmer in the form of text.
Okay.
So the programmer can adjust the code, refine the animation, or make any necessary changes.
Oh, that's cool.
This back and forth, this iterative process continues until each element gets a pass from the reviewer.
That's really clever. It's
Yeah.
making sure it's following the instructions and that it's a high-quality video that looks and moves.
Yeah, this iterative process is one of the key factors that sets Kubrick apart.
Really what makes it so special.
Research has shown that this back and forth between the agents, this constant refining based on feedback, that's what leads to Kubrick's superior performance compared to other commercial tools out there.
So it's like a Human director and editor
Exactly.
working together.
Refining until it's right.
It's like how humans learn to make movies. You start with a rough cut, get feedback, make revisions.
Yeah.
And speaking of learning, there's another fascinating aspect of Kubrick that contributes to its ability to create high-quality videos.
Okay.
It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation, RAG, for short.
RAG.
RAG, what is that?
Well, RAG allows the AI agents, particularly the programmer, to access external information
Okay.
that can help them do their job better.
So
So this can include things like Blender API documentation.
API documentation sounds pretty technical.
It is, but it's essentially an instruction manual for Blender.
Okay.
So it explains all the different commands and functions the software can do, and the AI can actually refer to this documentation to figure out how to write the code for a specific task.
So it's like a programmer that can instantly look up anything.
Exactly, and it's not just limited to API documentation. Our RAG can also let it access video tutorials, research papers, or even example scenes made by human artists.
So the AI is constantly learning from the best.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that makes Kubrick so powerful.
That is pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about the practical side of things. Can it actually create videos that look good, that feel cinematic?
That's the real test, right?
Yeah.
And the results are pretty remarkable.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Huh.
How does it stack up against the competition?
Well, the researchers behind Kubrick decided to put it head-to-head with some of the leading AI video generators out there, tools like Gen2 Pika and Dream Machine.
Okay.
They evaluated these different systems across 5 key metrics.
5 metrics are these like the Oscars of AI filmmaking?
Not quite Oscars,
Okay.
but these metrics are designed to measure different aspects of the video quality
Okay.
and how well the AI follows the instructions.
Right.
So, for example, one might measure the overall visual quality of the video,
Gotcha.
while another assesses how well it aligns with the user's text description.
So it's not just about making something that looks pretty. It's making sure the video actually tells the story.
Exactly. And across almost all of these metrics, Kubrick consistently outperformed the competition. It created videos that were judged to be higher quality, more aligned with the user's instructions, and even more aesthetically pleasing.
So Kubrick is not only technically impressive, but people actually like the videos?
Precisely, but they didn't just rely on these metrics.
Right.
They also conducted a user study with over 100 people.
Okay.
And the results were fascinating. So they showed these participants videos made by Kubrick and the other AI generators and asked them to rate the videos on different things like how well they followed the instructions, the quality of the character movement and the camera movement, and the overall look.
So it was a blind test.
Exactly. They didn't know which AI made which video.
Oh, cool.
And the results were overwhelmingly in favor of Kubrick.
Really?
Participants consistently rated Kubrick's videos as better at following instructions, having more realistic and engaging character and camera movement, and just looking better overall.
That's pretty impressive. It seems like Kubrick is ahead of the game when it comes to AI video generation.
It does, and it's not just about creating fun videos for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the potential applications for things like education advertising or even scientific visualization.
Oh, yeah. Like imagine being able to make educational videos that are not only informative, but really visually engaging.
Yeah.
Bringing those complex concepts to life.
Exactly. Or imagine using this technology to create realistic simulations for training.
Oh, wow.
So for medical professionals practicing surgery or pilots learning to fly new aircraft.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
And think about marketing and advertising. You could create personalized ads
Yeah.
that tailor the visuals and the story to certain audiences.
The possibilities are really vast. It's not just about making things look pretty. It's about being able to communicate information and ideas in a way that's more effective and more engaging.
I'm starting to see why they named this thing after Stanley Kubrick. He was a visionary filmmaker,
He was.
pushing the boundaries of what you could do with cinema.
Yeah, in a way, this AI system is carrying on that legacy, pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI-generated video.
But of course, no technology is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some limitations and challenges that need to be addressed with Kubrick.
There are, so for one thing, the VLM reviewer, the one that provides that critical eye,
Right.
can still be fooled by certain visual details in the 3D environment.
So it might misinterpret something
Yeah.
about the lighting or the character's pose.
Exactly, and give incorrect feedback.
So even the best AI systems still need a little bit of human oversight.
That's right. Another limitation is that the more complex or the longer the video, the more back and forth is needed between the programmer and the reviewer.
So it's not instantaneous.
Right.
You can't just describe a whole movie and expect it to just spit it out.
Not yet. At least it's still a lot faster than traditional CGI, but it could definitely be improved in terms of speed and efficiency, especially for those longer videos.
That makes sense. You're not going to replace a whole film crew overnight.
Not overnight, no. But it's cool to think about where this could all lead in the future.
Speaking of the future, one thing that I find really interesting about this whole AI filmmaking thing is that creative aspect.
Yeah.
We've talked about the technical stuff, the algorithms and the metrics, but what about the artistic side? Can AI really be creative?
That's a big question. Philosophers and artists have been debating this for centuries.
Right.
Even before AI. I think what Kubrick shows us is that AI can be a really powerful tool to boost human creativity.
So it's not about replacing human filmmakers, it's about giving them new tools and new possibilities.
Exactly. Think about how much time filmmakers spend on those tedious tasks like setting up shots, adjusting the lighting, refining animations. AI could automate a lot of that,
Yeah.
freeing up filmmakers to focus on the storytelling, the characters, the emotional core of the film.
That's a really interesting point. So having a whole pre-production and post-production crew just waiting to execute every creative whim.
Yeah, in a way, yes, you could play with different camera angles, different
Yeah.
lighting schemes, different character designs, all without having to wait weeks for the rendering or hiring a whole team of specialists.
And this could be huge for independent filmmakers or anyone without a lot of resources.
Yeah.
It could really change filmmaking, giving anyone with a story to tell the tools to bring it to life visually.
That's a great point. And who knows, maybe it could even lead to new ways of storytelling.
You mean like AI coming up with its own stories, writing its own screenplays, directing its own movies?
It's possible we're already seeing AI systems write poems, compose music, even generate scripts.
That's a little unnerving what happens when the AI is the auteur.
Yeah.
We're just going to sit back and watch the machines take over Hollywood?
I don't think we need to worry about robots taking over just yet.
Okay, good. I was getting a little nervous.
But it does make you wonder about creativity and the role of AI in art.
Yeah.
Is it possible for AI to really get human emotions, the nuances of storytelling, the things that make a film really moving or thought-provoking?
Those are really big questions, and I don't think we have all the answers yet.
We don't, but I think the most likely scenario is one of collaboration,
Okay.
a partnership between humans and AI.
Kind of like how Kubrick's three agents work together.
Exactly. Each one has its own skills, but they're all working towards the same goal.
Right.
Humans can offer their creativity, their emotional intelligence, their understanding of the human experience. AI can bring the technical skills, the ability to process tons of data, and that capacity to work and experiment without getting tired together. They could make something really special.
That's an optimistic view, and I hope you're right.
I do too. And I think it's important to remember that technology is a tool. We decide how we use it,
Right.
what stories we tell, and what kind of future we want to create.
Well said. And speaking of stories, I think this one was getting pretty long.
Yeah.
We should probably take a quick break before we wrap things up.
Excellent idea.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about this AI system called Kubrick that's changing how we think about making videos.
Yeah, we talked about how it combines the realism of CGI with the accessibility of AI using this three-agent system to understand instructions, write code, and make these high-quality videos.
And the impact it could have on different things, filmmaking, education, even marketing and science.
Right, and we even touched on some of the bigger questions this tech raises about creativity and art.
Yeah, like if AI can be truly creative, or if it's always just a tool for human artists.
It's an important question.
For sure, but before we get too deep into that, I want to think about our listener who's probably thinking, this all sounds great, but what does it mean for me? How could I actually use this today?
That's a great question, and while Kubrick itself isn't out there for everyone to use just yet, it represents this wave of new tech that's already making video creation easier and more intuitive.
So even if we can't all have our own AI film crew right now, there are tools out there that are kind of moving in that direction.
Exactly. We're seeing a lot of new AI-powered video editing software animation tools, even platforms that can make basic videos from just text prompts.
So even if you don't have a background in filmmaking or animation, you can still try out visual storytelling and bring your ideas to life.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the coolest things about this technology. It could change who gets to make videos, giving anyone with a story the tools to show it visually.
I love that it's like giving everyone a megaphone,
Yeah,
but instead of just making their voice louder, it's making their vision louder.
I like that. And it's not just about the final product. These tools can also be really useful for learning and experimenting.
Oh, right. Like Film students could use them to see how changing the camera angle or the lighting changes the mood.
Exactly. Or someone who wants to make educational videos but doesn't know anything about animation
Right.
could use AI tools to create visuals that help explain complicated
It's
ideas.
like having a virtual mentor.
Yeah, and because it's AI, you get feedback right away and can see your choices in real time.
That's way more exciting than reading a textbook.
It is, and it's not just filmmaking or animation. Think about all the other ways we use video every day.
Okay, give me some examples. How could this change other stuff?
Well, it could totally change how we talk to each other and share information online.
Okay.
Imagine being able to easily make short animated videos to explain something, share a news story, or tell a personal story.
That's a great idea. Instead of writing a bunch of text on social media, you can make a cool video that gets people's attention.
Right, and it's not just personal stuff. Businesses could use it to make better marketing videos. Schools could make more interactive online classes. Nonprofits could tell powerful stories about their work.
So it could change how we see and share information.
I think so, and that's just the start. As this tech keeps getting better, we'll see even more creative and new ways to use it.
It's amazing to think about all the possibilities.
It is, and it's important to remember that this is just where we are right now. AI is always changing, and who knows what incredible stuff is coming next.
Well, on that note of exciting uncertainty, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
It has been a really interesting conversation.
To our listeners, we hope you enjoyed learning about AI filmmaking. We've talked about a lot, the details of Kubrick, and the bigger ideas about creativity, communication, and the future of visual storytelling.
We encourage you to keep looking into this, try out the tools that are out there, and imagine what might be possible in the future.
And if you have any thoughts or questions, share them with us on social media. Until next time, keep diving deep.